Hey everyone, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and in today's video we're going to dive into the Friday the 13th Blu-ray box set from Scream Factory that was just released, and I'm going to review the 5 movies that did receive new transfers in this new collection. Hey everyone, so thanks for coming back to the channel today. If you aren't familiar with the new Friday the 13th Blu-ray collection that was just released by Shout Factory and Scream Factory, go back a few videos on my channel. I did an unboxing and a quick preview of what that set looks like. And now in today's video, we're going to take the 5 movies from this set that did get new scans. 4 of them are 4K scans, 1 of them is a new 2K scan, and I'm going to go through and quickly review each of those and talk about how those transfers look and whether there is a massive upgrade over that previously existing Friday the 13th complete collection and even the 8-disc collection, because many of these were in that set as well. So first, quickly, just a little bit of background on the transfers here. We've got Friday the 13th, I've got Friday the 13th Part 2, I've got Friday the 13th Part 3 3D, and then I've got Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. Those are all new 4K scans from the original negatives, and then the only one that got a new scan outside of those 4 is Jason Goes to Hell, and that's a new 2K scan. So I've been watching these the last few days, and I am really excited by what I'm seeing on these 4K scans. First of all, Friday the 13th here, the original, this is one of my favorite Blu-ray transfers I've ever seen. Now, obviously, would we like to see a 4K? Yes. And I'll talk about why we didn't at the end of this video, some reasons why I think that we just got Blu-rays here. But this 4K transfer on the Friday the 13th, the original, is so clean. The colors, if you didn't tell me that this wasn't 4K HDR, you'd probably be able to confuse me with that. If you put a true 4K HDR disc next to this Blu-ray, I'd be hard-pressed to find one that looked as good as this. This is an excellent Blu-ray release. The audio was awesome as well, and it's a really solid transfer. I could not get over how brand new this movie looked. The detail was incredible, the colors were incredible, all of the lighting, brightness, contrast, all of that stuff was excellent. So I was super happy with that first one. The first Friday the 13th 4K transfer in this set is a stunner. You're gonna love it. Now, the second one, Part 2, was also really good, but suffered in some instances. Some of the black levels were a little, it got a little muddy at times when it got really dark. The detail was very good in some cases, but it was less consistent than the first Friday the 13th, but still a massive upgrade over the previous Blu-ray. This is a much better scan than what was in the previously released Blu-rays. I really enjoyed it. It's just not as good as the original Friday the 13th scan. I would rank the original Friday the 13th number 1, and I'll rank all these at the end. Now, Part 3, the 3D version, this was really interesting because obviously it's gimmicky 3D, it's 80s 3D, and the 4K scan does help a lot in this. The picture really looks incredible on this. I'd say it's better than Part 2, but it suffers because of the 3D. So the 3D effects are, they're really cheesy, and they're blatantly obviously bad in 4K, or on this 4K transfer, I should say, not in 4K. They'd be worse in 4K, but they're really bad and cheesy. But that's part of the appeal of the movie, right? That's kind of what you're watching. And the 3D on this one is actually a new 3D transfer, and I am lucky enough that I have one of my 1080p TVs that I still own is a Sony, and it's a 3D TV, and I have a 3D Blu-ray player, so I was able to check out the 3D here, and it's definitely better than the previous set. I remember watching the 3D from that 10 complete collection, and this 3D is an improvement. It's not a massive improvement, but it's better 3D. The depth is a little bit better. It doesn't look as poor as the previously released Blu-ray. So, overall, these first 3, all great improvements. And then we get to Friday the 13th, the final chapter. This is the last of the new 4K scans. And this one, it might have been my least favorite. I just didn't think the colors popped as much. And that was a big thing I was seeing on these first 3, was the colors were awesome. Like really vibrant, bright. Like I'm talking HDR level stuff. Seriously, if you put this side to side and you told me this was a 4K HDR release, or some of these, not this one, but if you told me the others were 4K HDR releases, I'd have a hard time telling you they weren't. They look awesome. This one's just a little bit more muted, but the detail on it is excellent, and it's obviously the newest of the bunch. It was shot with probably better cameras, better equipment. It's only 4 years newer than the previous movies, but a little more care and effort probably, and the source was definitely a little bit better. So the detail on it's great, clarity is great. Brightness and contrast could use some help. It could use a little bit more pop with the colors, but that being said, still a big improvement over that 10 collection or the 8-disc movie collection you could get. These are really nice. So if I had to rank the 4K transfers, I'd go with Friday the 13th first. I'd probably go with the 3D one next because it's an impressive 3D transfer as well as the 4K transfer. Then I'd go with part 2. It suffers at some moments and has some weaknesses, but overall great. And then the final chapter, I just wanted a little more color. I wanted it to match up with those first 3. But still, all 4 of these, you cannot go wrong. These are the best the movie's ever looked. Scream Factory did an absolutely incredible job on these transfers, probably with the help of Paramount, I'm sure, who also does an incredible job with their 4K transfers, especially the ones that are on Blu-ray and being downscaled. Think the Paramount Presents line. They really are getting to be experts at 4K transfers, downscaling to 1080p Blu-ray and still giving you an excellent experience. So I'm not surprised by those. Now the last one, this is the only one from Warner Brothers or New Line that got any sort of new scan, and this is a new 2K scan of Jason Goes to Hell. I thought this was a nice improvement. It's always good to get new scans, especially because a lot of these older horror movies were probably just scans on Blu-ray that were ported over from DVD, probably did some upscaling. It wasn't great, and I remember these later movies in the set being a little disappointing picture quality wise, so this gives this one a nice bump. I really liked the color on it. The color was great. Obviously it's 1991, I think 1993, so it's much newer technology, better source to work with. I'm not surprised there, but just having a new 2K scan and from those original, the inner positive, it does make a big difference, and it really helped the quality of that. Now, unfortunately, these are the only 5 that did get a new scan, so the other 7 movies, even a lot of the Paramount ones, are the exact same Blu-rays that you were getting from the previous collections. No new scans on any of those. Even Freddy vs. Jason, from 2003 or 2004, whenever that came out. Jason X from 2002, those aren't getting any new scans. And even the Friday the 13th remake, which I think was 2009, does not get a new scan. So those are all just your standard Blu-rays. They are not the best Blu-rays I've ever seen. They're fine. They do the job. It's better than DVD for sure. But I would have liked to see maybe new 2K scans on all of those. And these 4K scans on the first 4 are really incredibly well done. So, if we could have, that would have been great. But now a lot of people, as I talk about this set, you're going to ask, why didn't we get a 4K Blu-ray set? Or why aren't maybe these first 4 on 4K Blu-ray? Or, even just the first one? Are we ever going to get a 4K set for Friday the 13th? And I honestly don't think so. You may get like the original Friday the 13th movie as a 4K, because that could sell well on its own. But you have to think about the cost and the benefit of a 4K box set of this magnitude. You're already paying $130 plus to get these Blu-ray discs. So if you go to 4K, this now becomes probably double that. You're paying well over $200 for the set. That's going to put it out of some people's price points, and you're also limiting the amount of people who will buy this set, because as we know, only about 5 to 6% of collectors are in that 4K category, and we may buy and spend more than others, but when you're talking about 5 to 6% of the entire physical media market, whereas Blu-ray can take up 40% and DVD has the rest, it's easier to convince people to upgrade from their DVDs to buy this new Blu-ray set than it is to leap to 4K at double the price. We also know that Paramount is focusing on great 4K transfers, but not necessarily putting everything on 4K Blu-ray, most likely for the same reason. And so given that these are a lot of Paramount movies, I believe it's 8 out of the 12 are owned by Paramount, that is why you're probably not getting 4K releases. Now, as to why the other movies didn't get new transfers, again, I'd go back to rights issues. 8 of these movies are Paramount. I think 1 is Warner Brothers, and the other 3 are New Line Cinema. So there's all these rights issues, which is why this set was out of print for so long. Everyone had to come together on this set from 3 different studios to create this. And so then you're working with Paramount, Warner, New Line. You've got to get their sources. You've got to get their permission to do a new scan, to work with their teams. It becomes a project. And I'm sure that Paramount, given that they put out the 8 movie collection, was all for this. And that's why you're getting 4 new 4K scans of the Paramount movies and only 1 from Warner Brothers that gets a new 2K scan. So it's not really like, it's not super surprising here that we're not getting 4K and that some of the new scans are limited, because you have to understand the Friday the 13th franchise, maybe more than any other, has so many rights issues and has had so many battles over the years as to who's releasing what, who owns the rights to Jason Voorhees, to Friday the 13th, who owns those rights has been a problem. And that's why the set was out of print. That's why we had a complete set and then only an 8 movie set, and now we're back to a complete set. And I would bet that this set goes out of print within 2 years. I am sure that Scream Factory probably has a license to release this for 2 or 3 years, and at that point things could go back up in the air, go out of print, because there's going to be another contract licensing battle over these movies. I know there's even talks of remaking them, and people like LeBron James are involved, trying to buy the rights to the franchise and own it and reboot it, remake more Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th movies. There's all kinds of stuff going on. So that's what makes Friday the 13th as a franchise especially difficult to release on 4K because of those rights issues. You got to have everybody agree that you want to do a 4K set, or maybe they wouldn't agree. Oh, Paramount gets the 4K releases, but we don't because we don't want to work on them. Blah blah blah. There's all kinds of issues, and that's why we don't get it. What we should be thankful for with this set here is that these first 4 movies in the set look absolutely amazing on 4K. Scream Factory, Shelf Factory, Paramount, whoever worked on those first 4 knocked it out of the park. Those are as good a 1080p Blu-ray transfer as I have ever seen. And getting a new 2K scan of Jason Goes to Hell is always nice. That's a nice little improvement. There's also tons of new special features. That lost gore footage from part 2 when they had to censor it to not be rated X. That's in here. Tons of bonus features, a booklet. I mean, it's an incredible set. So we can't complain about not having 4K when we get something this good, especially considering all of the rights issues that are out there and all the problems that could have resulted in something like this literally never coming together on any format again. So that's it for this review. If you want to pick up this box set, I'll leave a link in the Amazon listing down in the description. Go support Scream Factory with a purchase. You also help support my channel by using my Amazon link. Other than that, make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and turn your notifications on so you know when new videos go live. And you also know when I post new deals and updates on the YouTube community page, which I found to be an awesome resource. So if you're not following my posts over there, make sure you do. There's tons of great deals and other things that I post. Make sure you follow me on Instagram as well. It's a great way to get in touch with me, and that's the easiest way to probably contact me and follow my day-to-day. But otherwise, I really appreciate all the support. We're well on our way to 50K subscribers as of this video, so that's exciting. We'll get there before the end of the year, and I really appreciate everyone who's been sharing and liking and talking about these videos and leaving great comments. So appreciate you all. Make sure you check this out, and if you can, I highly recommend a purchase. But other than that, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.